Hello, welcome to the Ant-Man channel on this whoa, Friday the 19th of July 2013. I'm still in bed, I guess, I'm here presently, but I guess my head is still asleep. But anyways, yeah, I got a little bit of a head start today on reporting the news, but it's funny how whenever you go to like a certain website to that's about journalism, that's usually about the news, you have this online background checks website always pop up, and it's so creepy. I had this one guy tell me the other day, showing me on his iPhone how he can see who's been convicted of felonies or misdemeanors around the neighborhood, and they have like little blips. That's totally like my business, you know what I mean? If you want to know if I have a criminal record, all you got to do is ask me, and then I'll be like, so what's that got to do with me now? Like I dealt with my whatever it is that I was prosecuted for. Um, well, I'll be open about it. I'm not ashamed of it. I mean, I learned from my mistakes. I hope everyone else out there does. But I I stole a lot. I stole a lot during my high school days. I used to get away with it too. And one day when I was not wanting to, I got caught, and it was a big deal, especially when you don't want to go to court, especially when you do everything the judge asks you, and then you don't want to pay the fine or because you can't, or and then you don't even go to court, and then you got warrants and all that. But that's a whole different story. So I'm a thief. So what? Oh, does that discredit me? I know all of you liberals out there are like, oh, you listen to Dr. Kent Hovind. You mean the guy that didn't pay his taxes and is in jail? So him not paying his taxes and making him go to jail makes him discredited for everything he's ever researched in his life. You need to think about the things you say out there. Anyways, you know me, I go on my rants, and I'm just gonna get into this article. It's a very short one. George Zimmerman fallout. God is racist. I couldn't even read that with a straight face. God is racist. Religion professor says. So you can be a religion professor, which sounds ridiculous. This goes into like I'm not trying to bash on you guys for what you believe in out there, but with the whole Catholic thing is like venerating Mary and venerating the saints. You see, when you have people named religion professors of religion, and you have uh, that type of like venerating of people, that is not necessary to do that. That's what you have there is confusion, because we make it out to be so much harder than it is to understand the Bible. If you've ever picked it up, it's really not. I mean, a lot of people at first would complain to me like, "Don't read the King James one. Nobody understands it." That sounds like witchcraft to me, to be honest with you, because I read it and I understood it. I mean, I'm not gonna be perfectly. I can't explain to you why a donkey talks, or why, a snake spoke, or whatever you read in there. I can't admit that I understand everything that happens in the Bible, but in some way it makes sense. It makes sense like really deep down inside, and it's not even that kind of stuff. It's practical truth as well. All of it is just there's a lot of practical truth. There's a lot of deep truth, and the way the humanist is nowadays is that everyone's progressive, and that old ideas are gone and new ideas come in, and that there is no absolute truth. As a matter of fact, I hear evolutionists always say that they'll quote Mark Twain, and they'll be like, they're believing in having faith is believing that there's absolute, like that you're absolutely right or something like that. And it's like, what is wrong with knowing the truth? What is wrong with absolutely knowing what is what and being able to call it out for what it is? I think some scientists out there just like to run around in circles and never know. I don't know how you get into that type of mentality, but I'm glad I'm not like that, because I know that there are absolute truths, and there are laws that you have to follow. So many. But anyways, you guys know me. I talk a lot about stuff that has nothing to do with. I mean, I had to read this whole the whole heading here is, you can even see it for yourself. It says, God is racist, religion professor says. And this article is from the Washington Times. So you understand, like, this is news, okay, to some people. But You know, that's what happens when you think the government's God and you only listen to them. I've been having debates like that with people too, like where right and wrong comes from whether a law is, passed through Congress or by executive order, and that doesn't make it right or wrong either. You know, Jesus said, "Render unto Caesar what is Caesar's, and unto God what is God's," and that really means where do you stand? You know, who do you serve? You know, ultimately, who do you serve? You know, that's a good question to ask. Um, all right, so anyway, George Zimmerman fallout. God is a racist. Religion professor says, I guess we could coin that to anyone. You're a racist. God. Whoa. An associate professor of religious studies at the University of Pennsylvania said the not guilty verdict of George Zimmerman means one sure thing. God is a racist. Oh, I'm sorry, that's just too funny. Anthea Butler, who teaches within the Department of Religious Studies, wrote in Religious Dispatches, God ain't good all of the time. In fact, sometimes God is not for us. As a black woman in a nation that has, oh man, it always goes back to the color of my skin, and everyone treats me unfairly, dude. Welcome to my life. You know, dude, I'm not trying to, say anything bad about anyone here, but the first experience I had in kindergarten was I was being segregated by two other white kids that I was put in a group with by the teacher because they didn't want to play with me because I was a brown kid. That's the first experience I ever had in kindergarten, dude. So, am I gonna cry all my life because I wasn't treated fairly in kindergarten? I build a bridge and I get over it, man. You know what I mean? I don't have time to stay in one place and dwell on things that are not going to benefit me, and that's really what it is. So, okay, as a black woman, she says, in a nation that has taken too many pains to remind me that I am not a white man and am not capable of taking care of my reproductive rights or my voting rights, I know that this American God ain't my God. As a matter of fact, I think he's a white racist God with a problem. Well, see, everybody's God. Like, everybody knows he's there, but it doesn't matter. I mean, everybody knows he's there, whether you want to admit that or not. I know that you have a conscience and you know right from wrong. But, like, whether you want to do it or not, see how much time I have here. The more you focus on God, the more you see how God is, and you start to see him in a bigger, your God becomes bigger the more you know about him. And, it's funny that the things some people say, because if you knew him, like kind of how I know him, he's very scary, man, when he's mad, I'm not talking about, I mean, if you guys out there that want proof, go look up the remains that they found of Sodom and Gomorrah, go look it up. The temperatures that had to burn those elements in that, where that is, you cannot make flames that hot. You can't make fire that hot, dude, and that's just a phenomenon that you got to figure out for yourself. But I believe in God. I believe that there was a flood. I believe he rained fire on some people because they didn't want to repent, and that's just what it is, whether you like it or not, whether you think it has something to do with your skin or whatever. I mean, that's kind of ridiculous to blame. If God doesn't exist, then how can you blame him? You know what I mean? Like, that's the argument I see here is, there is no God because I don't believe in the God white America believes in, but I'm going to call him a racist. But he doesn't exist, so which one is it, lady? He exists or he's a racist? Anyway, Ms. Butler also wrote that American Christians, some of the biggest racists, actually fear minorities, Breitbart reported. When George Zimmerman told Fox News host Sean Hannity that it was God's will that he shot and killed Trayvon Martin, he was diving right into what most conservative Christians in America think right now. She wrote, as Breitbart reported, whatever makes them protected, safe, and secure is worth it at the expense of the black and brown people they fear. Wow, we got a serious case of just being a traitor. I saw it at a low degree, like if you're in the gangbanger culture, you're all about hating America, hating everything, hating cops, hating white people, hating black people. It's all trendy, and it's all trendy to be a traitor. And if there's a guy who can speak for himself and he speaks out and has ideas, there's always that guy, that gangbanger mentality that he's gonna sound like he thinks he's smarter than you, and he's gonna arrogantly speak up over you and say, you know, something that just has to do with a bunch of like with what I have to call it. I think it's just social engineering. You know, you're played off against each other, and that's, if you know what it is, then that's what it is. You know, call it a spade a spade. Um, Racism was in my opinion, was totally invented by American politicians or CIA or FBI because of the. You could look at this up, man. You can look this up. You look this stuff up on YouTube or anywhere, like in the 50s, and you know, I mean, even longer than that. I mean, but since they were free in America, it wasn't like it. You know, some of it was naturally, some of it was organic racism, but a lot of it also was manipulated, and a lot of stuff was instigated. And I just think that that's kind of something you should know. We're too busy fighting with each other so much that we never have time to look up real facts and know who's actually doing the real killing, who's doing the real dividing. Um, I don't know, man. I kind of see this whole the way people are responding to this George Zimmerman case is kind of like there's people who are opportunists that are gonna come out and they just want to they want to say something totally ridiculous, like that one chick on Fox News who says I'm a social engineer. So it's cool to be a social engineer now, huh? I mean, it almost makes me want to ask her, do you even know what that means? Do you know even? I mean, what the hell? You know, I don't know, man. I think that the reason people have so much ambition and they go into these like weird types of mentalities, I think, is because they just come from the right type of thinking, dude. It comes through like what is the foundation of what you are. What is that? Because whatever that is, that's where all your ideas are gonna come from. That's where like all your whatever God places on your heart to go and do, you know. Some atheist told me the other day, like, we make it what we make it. Not really, dude, because I didn't really, like, I don't know. Everything that's happened to me, I feel like it's happened for a purpose. I didn't think I would be, you know, I didn't think I would do the things that I've gone on and done. I never thought that. I think that came out of just, I had an opportunity that I made it to, and I did it, you know. It doesn't make any sense for someone to say, you know, like, that is what you did, what it is. Like, you know, it's cool, dude. Even though you admit it, like, I have always atheists come up to me and they're like, you know, they try to use the 10 Commandments against me. Like, I have to work within the 10 Commandments to have a discussion with this person, and it's funny because it's like, wait, you're the one arguing there's no God, but then you're gonna hold me accountable to every single law that God gave to Moses, and then it just makes you realize that I mean, the book is so thick, dude, that you would realize why so many people don't truly understand it, and is that it doesn't matter what you do. It you know what I mean? Everyone has that misconception that it has something to do with the way that you react to the forces of, you know, everything that you're tempted by, temptation of the sin, you know, the pride of life, your flesh, evil spirits. All these things are coming up against you every day, but you got, you know, like it says, like in the Bible, make God the way God made you. You know, the sound mind and power and love and all these good things. All these things overtake all these things. You turn fear into something greater than fear. You turn it into courage. You turn it into not backing down. And I'm getting tired of you liberals out there. You guys need to cut it out because I'm coming after you now. You know, like, I've been doing my research, man, and I'm getting into science and all kinds of stuff, and I know that all that stuff that you're backed up by is, you got nothing. You got no evidence of evolution. You got no evidence of any claims that you make. Atheism is like a religion now. So you can't even say it's like not being a religious person. That is totally religion. And we're just going to call things what it is, alright? You want to make up the talking points? We can do that too, only we're going to use the actual truth. So we'll see who prevails. Anyways, you like my videos, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. I got another article here, and I'm about to post it up in a minute. Alright, God bless.